In this week's parasha, the Torah calls the mitzvah of Shemitah. Interestingly, the word Shemitah doesn't appear. Instead, just as Parashat Mishpatim, which deals with the social aspects of Shemitah, focuses on the 7-year cycle, Parashat Bahar also focuses on the cycle of 7, describing the Shemitah year in the language of Shabbat. Therefore, while the description of Shemitah Ksafim in Re'eh uses the root of Shemitah 5 times, indicating that term's centrality in its context, our Parasha of Bahar refers to the Shemitah year as Shabbat 7 times. And so we have our first question. What is the connection between Shemitah and Shabbat? Our second question will stem from Mishnah Navot. Galut ba leolam al avdei avodah zarah, v'al gilui arayot, v'al shvichut damim, v'al hashmatat haaretz. In this list of cardinal sins that cause exile, where does Shemitah fit in? What's the connection between that particular Aveirah, the mitzvah Shemitah, and all of the other cardinal sins mentioned in that particular verse? In next week's parasha, often read alongside Bahar, there is a suggestion that the desolation of the land is almost caused by the land's desire for Shemitah, as tirtzeh haaretz ed shabtotea. And so we see an intrinsic connection between the idea of the desolation of land and exile and Shemitah. But this is also not the first time that the effect of the mankind's sin is seen in the land. Because from the very beginning of Torah, we see that. Adam Rishon, when he tries to be Ke-Elohim and eats from the fruit, is told that Aura ha'adama ba'avorecha, that the land will be cursed because of his sin. Then when Cain murders his brother, Hevel, va'ata aro ata min ha'adama, that he's going to be more cursed than the land. And after Hashem sees the licentiousness of the generation of Noach, he brings the Mabul, which destroys all the land. And in the conclusion of that episode, we see him promise Lo asif lekalel od et ha'adama ba'avur ha'adam, that he's going to promise not to bring a curse upon the land again because of mankind. Each of these 3 incidents in Bereshit is connected to the Mishnah. Like Adam wanting to become Ke-Elohim when he eats the fruit links to Avodah Zarah. The murder of Cain linking to Shfichut Damim, and the licentiousness of the generation of Noach linking to Gilui Arayot. So the incidents are connected to the Mishnah, but are they connected to each other? So one way to understand these stories in Bereshit, as suggested by Rabbi Sachs, is that they are each developing an awareness as to the extent of our responsibility. And then maybe, if that's the case, the Shemitah is also supposed to guide us in understanding our responsibilities. Rav Hirsch, in his commentary about Hashem's response to the sort of conclusion of the flood by promising not to curse the land again, suggests that that is exactly what is happening. That God will no longer curtail the power of the earth. He will not limit its fertility in order to educate mankind. With great power comes great responsibility. Our power or majesty, to use the language of Rav Soloveitchik, comes from our ability to dominate the land. If we lack the ability to recognize the responsibility entailed by that power, then the power is removed. That ended after the flood, which might be why after Migdal Bavel, no curse affected the land, and instead we were spread throughout the 4 corners of it. And so the connection between Adamah and the action of man after Parashat Noach was severed. But there's a problem, because we say every day in the Shema that V'Adamah lo titen et yivula, that the land will stop giving produce as a result of our inability to follow the commands. So are our actions connected, or are they not connected to the land? So the answer, it would seem, is in the difference between Adamah and Aretz. According to the Gra, Adamah specifically refers to the surface layer of the ground, uninhabited but used for agriculture. Eretz, however, refers to settled land, of the settled land of a people, the land which constitutes a nation. And this distinction is reflected in the brachot we use. For vegetables, we praise the fruit of the Adamah, a lower food, a food that you'd feed to animals, but for bread, an elevated food associated with malchut and nationhood, we praise that which comes min haaretz. And so while our individual majesty of the earth is no longer directly connected to our actions, our success as a nation, vested in its own land, is deeply and intrinsically connected to its actions. Much like the occurrences in Bereshit teach us about individual, collective, and moral responsibility, perhaps the laws of Shemitah teach us about our national responsibility. And if we are unable to take on that mantle, then Hashem may teach us that the power that comes with nationhood is a privilege, not a right. As is expressed by Rabbi Zimmerman in his new book on Shemitah, the Jewish right to the Eretz depends on their behavior, and the greatest expression of recognizing the spiritual character of the physical land of Israel is through the mitzvah of Shemitah. In Faith in the Future, Rabbi Sachs explains that Shabbat creates a delicate rhythm of action and reflection. In his analysis on Parashat Bahar, he explains that Shemitah is essentially a rest from the endless pursuit of wealth and control in order to take stock of what those 6 years have done to one's personality and to ensure the continuous improvement of one's character and outlook. And so, to answer our questions, the connection between Shemitah and Shabbat are that both of them are an opportunity to reflect on the 6 days of work, the 6 years of work that we have been through, and understand how that has affected our personality. Have we internalized the responsibility that the fruits of our labor have entail for us? And similarly, to understand the Mishnah, that whilst it might be that our actions no longer affect how the Adamah works for us, our ability to stand as a nation is deeply connected to our actions, and the epitome of the recognition of that is in our mitzvah of Shemitah. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we will all take the opportunities for reflection that come our way, and as a result, continue to merit the zchut of living in our land. Shabbat Shalom.